JD Bates here from Pop Turn It is speaking to Kyle Perritt and Madeleine McGraw about the short horror film Robbie Ain't Right No More, which is doing its festival circuit right now. Thank you both for your time. Welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Madeline, welcome back to the show, Madeline. We've spoken
thanks
before.
For having me again.
Absolutely. Kyle, there's a lot of kind of play here. The film is doing its kind of rounds at the, it's spooky season, so it's doing its rounds at the festivals right now. A very kind of important film. It's a horror film, but important film, tackles a lot of important issues like PTSD. Is it safe to say that was kind of the original kind of idea, or did it evolve a little bit? Was it originally always going to be a horror movie showcasing kind of the importance of PTSD? Like, I'm just curious about that.
It kind of naturally worked its way in because it's a movie that just came about, kind of deeply inspired by my experience coming home from being in the Marines and 2 deployments and feeling like an alien in my own home.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, Madeleine, this is, you're going to read the script for this, and it's not going to be easy. You have worked in the horror genre before. What was that like reading this script specifically, and how did you get a part of this movie specifically?
Well, I've known Emmy since I was like 6 years old. Like, we had worked together on like my first big show, and I love her so much, and we've stayed close throughout these years. And so she reached out to me, and she sent me the script. She was like, Maddie, there's a role in here I would love for you to play. Just read the script and let me know what you think about it. And I thought it was super interesting. And I was like, yes, of course, because obviously I would love to work with Miss Emmy again.
Absolutely. Kyle, something about this film, there is a slow burn component of this film, but I felt kind of there was something wrong as soon as we meet the whole family at the dinner table. Obviously, it kind of escalates and gets more kind of like horror movie trope wise, right? But what can you tell me about that first kind of couple of scenes at the dinner table when he comes back home for the first time? Because those were they supposed to be scary? Did you have that plan a little bit, or did it kind of just happen the way it was shot?
Let me think of the best way to describe what I was going for. Do you remember that Hitchcock quote about like a bomb being under the table?
Yeah.
And the people don't know, but the audience does. Like, yep. Wanted to go for that classic thing, but mixed with like Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. It's just because there's so many funny and awkward things that happen in situations like that, especially when you're dealing with family members who, the kind of people who will vote to go bomb another country, but, have never been touched by conflict themselves. So, and it's always funny, talking to people like that who think that they know everything about the world.
But as soon as I started watching this movie, I knew that there was something going wrong. There was something wrong here. It wasn't right? And like, that's really cool because again, it's a short film, right? So you only have a certain amount of time to kind of build that up. So I thought that was done really well, kind of getting you right in right away, being like, okay, there's something not right here. Like, and we're just going to kind of roll with it. Maddie, I do find it also interesting as well because you've worked in the genre before, but when you're reading the script for this, like obviously it kind of like slow burns and then, gets really intense and very scary.
Right.
But did you think it was scary from the kind of first couple of pages as well? Or did you kind of read that kind of build up a little bit after that?
I definitely read like with the build up, like especially towards the end, but also like you were saying, like I could tell like something didn't feel right. Like when I started reading it, like I could just picture myself watching it, and I was like, something's not right. Something's going wrong here. So like something fell off. Yeah. And I remember when my sister watched it, she was like, oh my gosh, that was actually scary. Like that was actually really creepy. It was just cool getting to see my family's reactions too.
And getting back to the short form content, Kyle, because I always found that interesting from a filmmaking perspective. And I'm not sure if you've worked on like longer form content or like how much longer form content you've worked on, but what was it like specifically working on a short film? Like, did it feel like there was pressure because you don't have that much time? Did it feel like challenging? Was it easier? Like, I'm just curious about that a little bit.
I work on a lot of longer form stuff as a technician. I mostly do lighting. Sometimes I do camera work. So rarely I get to like direct a project. Mm-hmm. So usually when we do short films, it's like friends and people we know very well. So there's not a lot of stress or drama. But with this one, we only had 3 days. And, with actors Maddie's age, the SAG rules are, what is it, Maddie? It's like 8 hours on
8
set.
hours, yeah.
Yeah. So when you do hair and makeup and lunch and all that, you really get 5.5 to 6, really. So it was a lot of stuff to shoot in a very short amount of time. But
it's like once you get on set, I'm a creative as well. I've worked on some short films as well that I wrote and produced, and when you're on set, you're all in, right, until the final shot.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's like a different experience of the flow of time. If you work on it as a crew member, you're kind of looking at your watch about 1 million times a day, or your phone. And it seems to be creeping by. And, when you're at the helm, it's just the time is melting away. And,
I remember like when we were filming, I think it was the scene where I was running down the steps. Like everyone kept saying, like, I don't know, like every 5 minutes, they're like, how much time does Maddie have left? Well, how much time we gotta get her out of here? But I think like even with the limited amount of time, like it came together so beautifully. Like it's amazing.
100%. Was that the original kind of idea for a runtime? About 18 minutes ish?
So this movie was funded by a grant program in the state.
Okay.
And their maximum page count was 15, and that's what the script ended up being. So, I was hoping for around 15, because any runtime longer than 12 or 13, as you probably know, it becomes much harder to program at film festivals. So
yes.
It's 18 minutes. It better be really good 18 minutes,
100%. And congrats, the festival circuit. I mean, I believe I saw yesterday. I mean, it was it Screamfest LA?
Yes. And that was just opening night. Our film plays Sunday night at Screamfest, and it plays at Telluride Horror Show Friday night.
That's so awesome. Maddie, what do you like the most about working in the genre of horror movies and horror specifically?
I don't know. I feel like horror movies take you on a ride. Like it's like you're on a roller coaster.
I've been saying that in so many interviews. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a great way to put it. So that's probably why I like the twists and turns, like the jump scares and stuff like that.
You like strap in. And you're
yes, it feels like you're on a yes, it's amazing.
And I watched this movie twice, right? I watched it on my phone, but then I put it on my TV, and I was just like really like, you felt like you were like it was like immersive in a lot of ways. But
I feel like that is definitely like the best way to put it. Like you're strapped in and you're on for the ride.
But I feel like there's different ways to scare people, and I think this movie is a good example of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just kind of jump scares. It's not just monsters. It's not just blood, right? There's like different things, like the psychological game. The people are scary, right, Kyle? Like I feel that's one of the things about the genre that's becoming elevated as well.
Yeah, people scare me more than anything else.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah,
100%.
I mean, people are scary. That's literally, it's funny because some of my favorite horror movies are movies like The Invitation, You're Next, Ready or Not. I always put them in this like dinner party gone wrong kind of category of horror movies. And like, you can maybe put this one in that a little bit, right? Because in the beginning of the movie, like I'm so invested in it because I feel like there's so much.
The dinner table, yeah.
Which is amazing. And Maddie, anytime you work on a set, there's always going to be learning experiences, no matter if it's your first movie, it's your 100th movie. What were some learning experiences for you specifically as an actor, storyteller, working on Robbie Ain't Right No More?
I don't know. I feel like it's so cool how people bring like their friends like to work with them or like on a set. Like if your friend knows how to like work the lights or like the camera and stuff, I feel like it's amazing to have those connections, because then if you want to make something, if you want to create a script or write a script, then you can just like call your friends to have them like come and help you. I mean, obviously it's a lot harder than that, but it was awesome to get to see like how everyone keeps their friends so close so they can just work with them a lot in the industry.
Were there a lot of conversations with the actors for this movie, Kyle, in regards to what they were going to do and everything? Because I feel like it depends on the situation. Obviously you have those kind of like you have maybe the Zoom calls, you chat with them before you actually go and film, but like, you're directing, but I'm just curious, before you actually kind of go and like film the scenes, are there any conversations about what you want or anything? Or is it kind of just like a little bit of like a, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're going to do. Like, I'm just curious what the director actor conversations are like on this movie, if there are any.
There, I don't remember there being many conversations, but the few that we had would just be talking about characters' backgrounds, what they've done, where they want to go, what they believe in. I think the most that Maddie and I talked about would be the very first scene of the movie. When we showed up to work, I just kind of realized the way the dynamic was in the script, which is the reverse of what it is in the movie, just wasn't working. So we her, I, and Jason Davis, we just kind of flipped the dynamic, and that's why it is, what it is in the movie now.
What was the post-production like for this? Like, was it a quick turnaround of pre and post? No, but timeline. You know what? No, I did I just did I just say something that's just going to be a big kind of 20-minute?
No, I feel like I just finished. I mean, I basically did just finish post on this. As with a lot of indie movies, we just ran out of money by the very beginning of post. So I had a cut, watchable cut, like a month after we shot it. But, of course, there's all this sound to be done, score. There's no VFX in the movie at all. That was a goal from early on. But it took...
Really?
Yeah.
There was no VFX?
Yeah, not a single VFX shot.
That's impressive and interesting at the same time, really.
Yeah, I would recommend befriending your special effects makeup technicians. If you work in the business, these guys are called Bearded Skulls. They're out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Rick Poor, Tony Rosen, Matt Barrett.
Wow. I feel like it's also interesting. I haven't done an actor-director interview in a while, and I thought this would be a kind of a cool thing. Obviously, you've worked together, both of you, on this project. There have been conversations, about everything. I thought it would be cool for both of you to ask each other a question about making this movie that maybe you don't know about specifically, or something that, you never had a chance to talk about specifically. Whoever has it first, it could be like a simple question or anything. I just thought that'd be a cool thing.
What was the hardest part about making it or making it happen? Maybe? I don't know.
I think the hardest part is always in pre-production. It's just getting the right people in one place,
Right.
in the right place. That's always the hardest part. I think being on set is probably the easiest, and it's over.
Everything just starts rolling.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kyle, do you have a question for Maddie specifically?
Yeah, I want to think of the best one.
See, I needed a break from hosting for a little bit. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
It's tiring.
It's tiring. I need a break. I need to make you co-host for a little bit. You have to ask a question.
How scary did you find Jadon, to be?
Okay, yeah. I was gonna talk to you about that yesterday when I watched the movie, because obviously when we were filming, I think I had to leave when Jadon was filming his blood on the face scene, or I was behind the desk. But when I was watching it, I did not expect him to be that scary. It was actually really freaky. I was like, whoa, what? It was unexpected. I did not expect that at all.
No VFX,
so
apparently.
Cool.
No VFX.
I know, it was crazy. It was so cool.
No, it's really cool that the film, it's a great film. Congrats to everyone involved, Kyle. I know this is a really important project as well to you, so congratulations, seriously, with everything in the festivals.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And Maddie, it was good to see you again on the show.
It was good to see you too.
Thank you both for your time. Seriously, it was great to chat about the film. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to plug away, Kyle, a little bit? Your production company, where you can watch the film and everything specifically, in the festival runs. Any plugs specifically?
Right now we're in 4 festivals. We're at Telluride Horror Show. That's probably the hardest one to get to. If you know anything about Telluride, we're playing at Screamfest in LA on 7 p.m. Sunday night. Later in the month, we'll be at Nightmares Film Fest in Columbus, Ohio, and then Film Quest in Provo, Utah. Those are both amazing genre festivals. So if you live anywhere near those places, definitely come check it out.
That's amazing, and it's spooky season, so it's the perfect timing for some horror movies. Have you both watched? Are you both fans of horror movies? That's something I didn't ask. Like, can you watch?
I
horror
mean,
movies?
like I kind of have to be. I love horror movies, so
At this
you know.
point, yeah, I feel like you have to, right?
I can't be scared of that.
Or it was like one of those things where you're kind of involved with the fan base more. Maybe you weren't into them, but now you're like watching
Well,
them
yeah,
more.
because like I'd always liked horror movies, but I'd never really been allowed to watch them. And so definitely me being in all this horror stuff, my mom has had to let me like have more like experiences watching the horror movies. They're so good. I love them so much. Like, even though they do scare me like so badly, I don't know. I like being scared. Like, it's fun because then I like watching them with friends. So then we can like laugh about it after.
I've watched, I'd say already I've watched easily like 28 horror movies already.
Oh,
I mean, part of it's part of the gig,
Yeah.
right? You got to do the interviews, but like you go back and watch
Yeah.
classics, like. But no, it's great. Again, thank you both. This has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturnative for previous episodes. You should be able to catch Robbie Ain't Right No More on its spooky season kind of film festival run. Until next time, this is Kyle Perritt, Madeleine McGraw, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.